Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to my live quilting chat, Tipsy Tuesday. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you say hi by stating your name in the comments. Say hi to everybody. Thank you for being with us live. We appreciate it. Of course, the benefit of being with us live, you have a chance to win a $25 gift card just by commenting. We will pull a winner randomly from your comments, both from Facebook and YouTube. So please comment. And we love those thumbs up and hearts if you love what you're seeing. Tonight on the show, we will kind of gear up a little bit for our Fast and Furious Club Season 3, which kicks off a week from today. Kickoff is a week from today. That is, then you will get to see the projects. So we are going to kind of reminisce a little bit, look back on Season 2's projects, and I'm going to give you some kind of advanced hints and tips for anything quilt as you go. Of course, there's a new fabric. Of course, always new fabric to look at and oogle and ah over. So even if you're not watching us live, you still get a chance to win another $25 gift card just by answering our giveaway question at the end of the show. So stick with us, people, stick with us. On our last show, which was actually 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks. We had to cancel last week because I couldn't talk. I had caught some kind of a head cold, some bug, and took my voice, left my head all stuffy, and it was not fun. But here I am, all good. Little crud still, but I'm feeling good. So on our last show 2 weeks ago, our question was, what is your favorite holiday? Because we had just done our Halloween show, and our winner is Shelly Ryder-Brunner. Shelly, congratulations. Send us a quick email, help@GE Quilt Designs, and we will get your gift card to you digitally so you can go shopping fast. So it is officially the last day of August. Last day of August. Can you believe it? Oh, kids are going back to school, and of course, one of the iconic things here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, is it's the State Fair. State Fair started this week or last weekend, and so full effect. This is actually no, it's all of next week. All of next week, right?
Yep.
This week and ends on Labor Day. It's the last day of the fair. So if you're in Minnesota and you happen to be going to the fair the next couple of days, you might catch a glance at Mr. HP.
Yay!
On stage with his mentor group, Ujamaa music group from the Ujamaa Place, which he mentors young musicians there every week. So what are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna play drums?
I'm gonna play drums. I have a bass player, guitar player, and some tracks. And we have 4 guys up front.
Nice.
Doing some rapping and a little singing.
Awesome.
We have 3 shows a day, Wednesday and Thursday at the Bazaar stage.
Okay.
10, 12, and 1 o'clock.
All right. Gotta go early.
Ujamaa Music Group. Yeah.
Yes. So tell us just a little bit about the group and what the focus is and what you've kind of instilled in them with what they're writing.
There's a place called Ujamaa Place that helps young black men that are, needing some help and some trouble and jobs, and they help them get them jobs and help them get on the right path.
Yes.
So I put together this music group last year, August.
But it was wasn't it more like almost like a therapy counseling session with the music because they were all into music?
Yeah, it's kind of Ujamaa music therapy group.
Yeah.
Because we use music to get us in the right place. But
great.
These young men have been very talented. We've been writing some music, and we're going to be performing 5 of those songs we have written throughout the year.
That's awesome.
We've written a couple songs for some other nonprofit charities, St. Paul, Minnesota Coalition.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's been really good.
Yes, that's awesome. one of the things I love about it, just because, you know, sometimes I think there's a stigma around rap music, but you've instilled in them that all their rapping is really clean. You don't have to use any cuss words.
All clean.
Yeah.
And speaking something positive.
And so it's very poetic,
Yeah,
what they're saying. I love it.
It's beautiful.
So if you're going to the fair, check it out. If you're in Minnesota, it's cool. I'm going to miss it because I'll be on the road. Anyways, check it out. Goodies Color Club is coming up, of course, every beginning of a new month. So it's already in the house. It's being cut and packaged, and we'll ship. So next week, we'll hopefully get everything out on the 7th. Or no, the 6th. No, 6th is a Monday. We're closed on Labor Day.
Yeah.
7th is a Tuesday. So we'll be adding a lot of spots to the subscription this time around. So if you are interested in snatching up a subscription spot, I would recommend signing up for notifications. So you'll be notified via email once those spots become available. So all you got to do is look for Goodies Color Club on the website, and it will say sold out. So you can just put your email in the box and you'll get an email. So it will kind of be probably around the 12th or the 15th. We want to get a chance to get everybody's out before we open up those spots. So that'll be happening coming up here in a week or two. It's exciting. But our next program, of course, is kicking off Goodies Color Club. Fast and Furious Club. We got so many clubs and fun stuff going on.
So many.
I love it. Season 3. It's amazing. First 2 seasons were phenomenal. Really fun and cool, and fun to see how much you enjoyed it. It's, of course, Fast and Furious projects. They are all done quilt as you go. They're all small projects, so you can get them fast. And every month there is a pattern and a video class. So it's pretty much like taking a class every week. And so every time we launch a new season, we always have some specials. So I thought, you know, for those of you that maybe missed out on it last year, are new to us since then, I thought we would go through our last season. So the season starts in September. We have a project every month, September through May. So it's a 9-month program. And of course, when we kick it off, we have all kinds of options as far as how much commitment you want to do. If you want to commit to all 9, or if you want to just do 3, or if you just want to pick and choose, you can purchase each individual as well. But let's check out. So I always try and start it and include some kind of a technique difference between the projects. So we always learn a little something different. We start off the first project. It's always kind of simple and easy to do for everybody. So the first project last season for September was called the Off Kilter Table Runner. And this one was quite popular. You may have been seeing lots of those posted on in the crew. So I have some of these samples here. Here is this exact runner. And so how it works, of course, you piece your runner through the backing and batting. So once you're done piecing, you're done quilting it at the same time. So your stitches are going to come through the backside, but done fast and furious, of course. This one was really fun to do because you can kind of use a lot of different fabrics and just put it straight onto your table. All right, second month was October. That was our Fall Fellas. So Fall Fellas was a wall hanging, and so really cute to hang on your door, hang on your wall. We did a couple of colorways. So we always offer kits too. Of course, you don't have to purchase kits every time. Well, when you purchase the Fast and Furious Club, you will get fabric requirements for the first 3 projects. So you can choose your own fabrics, but we had a couple of kits last year for this one. They were both very popular and sold out pretty fast. But Fall Fellas is a quick one to make for the fall. The Santa's Hat Placemats was our November project, and a very popular one as well. This, I don't even have mine because I gave my samples away. What I did with mine, I used my embroidery machine, and in the brim of the hats, I personalize them. So Johan got one and his parents. So those placemats are living in Portland now. For December, we did a Spruce Lane table runner, which is a beautiful centerpiece with trees. So you can make it holiday if you wanted to, but they're just pine trees, so you can make it holiday for Christmas, or you can just make them regular trees and something for up north, or just something, you know, non-seasonally tied. So you can, that was a cool, fun project as well. We actually do have some of these kits left, and they're in our clearance section if you want to check that out. For January, we did a True Hearts table topper. So this was an octagon. So all of the projects are small, of course, because we pieced them through the backing and batting, so you don't want to do any big quilts. So this was our kind of round, perfect for a round table or a bigger square table. They're great for that. We did 2 colorways, again, very classic red, and then we did the gray background with the pink hearts, which I believe we have just a few of these kits left as well, if you wanted to snatch some up to make for Valentine's Day, or just engagements, or weddings is a great one for weddings, anything like that. Pitter Patter was our February project, and this was a baby quilt, or is a baby quilt. Another very popular one. A lot of folks, even if they weren't a part of the whole club, purchased this one and have made multiples because it's great. It uses fat quarters and just a half yard of the background, so it's perfect to use our stash builder bundles. This was the one I made out of the space fabric, and then we made I've made a few of these. I think we made 3 or 4 different kits. Here's the neutral kit. It was very popular, so totally kind of reversing, having light fabrics in as the fat quarters, and then a darker one for the background. So that was cool, and a lot of folks are making multiples because these are perfect for like donation gifts. If your guild collects baby quilts for donations or anything like that, it's a great quick project because once you're done piecing it, it's quilted already. So all you got to do is put the binding on. All right, so moving into our March project, we did a little Easter theme, eggs for Easter table runner. And this one, we practiced our illusion of curves. Of course, no curved piecing, but to make the shapes kind of egg-like, you could do that. Some folks that didn't want to make this Easter, they just made them in strips. So I left them kind of like rectangles. So that was a perfect way to do it too. And then we are moving into April. In April, we practiced with a completely different shape, which is an equilateral triangle. So a 60-degree triangle, pretty much these pyramid table toppers. So you can use them individually, or you can use them together. You can use them as placemats for a round table. They were just very versatile. And we learned how to do the 60-degree corner on a binding, which is not as hard as you would think. We just made a few more of these out of the kitty corn fabric, which I think are adorable for Halloween. Perfect like a little candle mat, a great small gift just to give one with a candle. I think that's really cool about these because they're so uniquely shaped. I do believe we have some of these kits left in the store, maybe still in the clearance. All right, and so our last project of the year for season 2 was the Duty Calls Table Runner. This was a remake of an old and retired pattern of mine, and so I made it a little bit larger so that you can enjoy the pattern better. And so we did a few colorways in this one. Here's one, and then we had the navy border. And so we have, I think, maybe a few of these kits left too in the clearance from last season. And then we recently made one more out of the Black Cat Capers. So this one was another classic that I think will be done over and over and over again. So Are you excited for season 3? I know I am. I'm always excited to see what you think about the projects. So we have to wait another week to see the first 3 projects. So of course we do this and introduce the projects in trimesters. So the first trimesters will be the September, October, and November projects. So you will get to see those next week, so you can kind of see what to expect. If you want to just commit to the 3, you can do that. There'll be a lower price, obviously, versus buying one by one. And then we always have a deal when we kick off the season so that you can buy all 9 months, even though you don't get to see the 6 projects coming later. But that way is the biggest savings if you purchase all 3, of course. So you gotta wait though. We can't show you anything yet. Are they trying to? I think they're trying to. I think they're trying to get in on it. However, I have another treat for you. So those of you that maybe don't know anything about my Quilt As You Go method, or how to prepare for that, if you wanna maybe participate this year. So I did a video that I have not played publicly before. It has been a part of the Fast and Furious Club. You know, for those that purchase, they have access to this video in their account. But I thought it would be cool to kind of introduce you to the method, and it's really just the basics of Quilt As You Go. So it talks about the tools that you need, or ideally need for doing the technique, and all the little helpful tools that I like to use throughout that process. So here is the basics of Quilt As You Go video. Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. In this video, I'd like to show you some of the tools I like to use when doing the Quilt As You Go method. I'd also like to show you some tricks that will ensure your success. First off, you will need a walking foot for your machine. Now, many machines will come with a walking foot, but if your machine didn't, you can easily purchase a generic brand that will fit your machine. Just make sure that you note whether your machine is a high shank or a low shank machine. Now, what this does, it gives you sort of a walking or a feed dog on top of your fabric, just like you have on the bottom when you're sewing. So this will help feed all those layers through the machine evenly, and it really is great when you're doing any kind of quilting, or like we're going to be doing quilting as you go when we're piecing through the backing and batting. Speaking of batting, I prefer to use Fusible fleece for my batting for my Quilt As You Go projects. My favorite brand is by Bozo. It's called a light Fusible, and I do happen to carry that in my web store. It is 45, the ones that we have is 45 inches wide by 5 yards. So this will get you a long way. But what I love about this is the lightweight. It's perfect for table runners and toppers and things like that. It holds its shape very nicely, and it's only fusible on one side. So you can just iron your backing to your batting, and then you are ready to go. So what I don't recommend is using fusible batting that is fusible on both sides, because that's really going to be kind of tricky when you're piecing through your layers. If you don't have fusible batting, a good way to adhere your backing to your batting is using a 505 spray temporary adhesive. So this is kind of a basting spray, and this is my favorite brand whenever if I don't have fusible batting on hand. Moving on to our backing fabric. So what I prefer to use with backing fabric is something that will hide my stitches. So I usually like to use backing that has a little bit of a print, because our stitches are going to be coming through the backing. So make sure that you have something that doesn't show as well. And this print I just really like because it has some movement and will really hide my stitches. So when you are fusing your backing to your batting, what you want to do, you will notice that the batting has a side to it that has the fusible adhesive. It has a little bit of a different texture than the other side. So you want to lay that on your ironing board or mat so it has the fusible side up. So then I will just layer my backing on top, smooth it out, And what you want for your iron, you want to have a steam iron. That is the best success, and my iron happens to have 2 settings for high steam and low steam. So for mine, I like to use the high steam, but low steam would work fine for you. And then you want to just make sure you go over your fabric and kind of hold your iron in place a little bit in certain places to make sure it fuses, and especially on the edges. And then you just kind of continue on this way until your whole piece is fused. To check it, make sure it cools down first, and then you can check it. But know that this is not a really harsh permanent adhesive. You can still, if you get a little wrinkle in here, you can just pull it up and readjust it. But look, this is going to be nice and tight here for me and not going to cause any trouble. So I will just keep fusing until you have your whole back fused. Now you want to make sure that your backing fabric is wider than your batting, because you do not want to press on the fusible side on the batting, because that will get your iron all gunked up. So now we have our backing and we have our batting. So next thing is to talk about thread. So I like to use just cotton thread, of course, when I'm piecing, but I want to make sure that my bobbin thread color really blends in well with my backing. So my 3 favorite colors to use for piecing in general work really well with Quilt As You Go as well, because these 3 tend to blend in very, very nicely with any kind of backing. So when you are trying to match something and trying to let a color blend in, also you want to make sure that you have a little bit darker and duller color of thread than the actual fabric. So I have here a set of kind of my favorite colors, blues, reds, greens, and so on. And you will notice that these are kind of duller colors than probably most fabrics, and that is that for a reason, because they really blend in nicely, and you can use it with lighter fabrics and darker fabrics. So now that we have our thread in the machine, you want to make sure that you have a good fresh needle in your sewing machine, because the needles wear out quite a bit more when you're sewing through the backing and batting like this. I like to use a non-stick needle when I'm working with a fusible batting, also when working with adhesive spray, because this ensures that your needle will not gum up. And that also goes with if you're doing any kind of applique with fusible web. This will be really, really helpful. So the Placemats non-stick needles are my favorite, and my size that I use is just a 80, just a kind of middle of the road, something that will not break easily on me. So now we're ready to start sewing. So Quilt As You Go, you obviously place your units on your batting, and after you draw your lines. And so drawing your lines on your batting, I like to use 2 different types of pens. So either a ballpoint pen or a water erasable marker. So it differentiates on the pattern what kind of lines you need to draw. But most times I just use my ballpoint pen if my fabrics are dark enough to ensure that this will not show through my fabrics. If I have lighter fabrics, I like to use the water soluble pen, and my favorite is the Collins Wonder Marker, just because it has kind of a thicker tip, so you can see it easily on the batting. And I would just test things on your batting. If you want to test your markers, just test it on a little corner of your batting, and then you're good to go. What you want to avoid is any pens that will disappear on you. For example, air erasable pens or heat erasable pens. You don't want to use those with Quilt As You Go, because you want those lines to stay there as long as you're going to be needing them. So once we start sewing with a Quilt As You Go method, we're placing fabric on our piece and then stitching through the layers. So when you are stitching through the layers, for example, here's my seam. What you want to make sure in the beginning at the end of the seam is you want to take a few stitches in the beginning and a few at the end. Many machines have like a fix button or a tie off button that will automatically tie off at the beginning, and then you can hit that at the end and it will automatically do that. If you don't have that, what I recommend is just take a few stitches in the same spot when you begin and then when you end a seam. I like to increase my stitch length just a little bit when I am doing Quilt As You Go. It just helps move all those layers through your machine. So I go up to, which normally when I'm piecing I'm at 2.5, 2.2 or 2.5. I like to go all the way up to 3 when I'm doing my Quilt As You Go, but you can also just test your machines and kind of see how things work. When we are placing our pieces on, this one obviously has been sewn on, but I'm going to turn this around, and here we have another piece we're placing here. You want to use pins to secure this piece to the backing and batting before you stitch it. And the pins do matter. I like to use the larger size, and they're a little bit thicker, so they are harder to bend, because you want to make sure when you pin to be able to go through the batting and all the way through. And some of the smaller, finer pins, they have a hard time going through all those layers without bending. So I like to use those longer pins. They're called quilting pins, and Clover makes really great ones because they're also sharp enough to go through. So once we have this pin down and then we stitch our seam, I want to talk about pressing. So pressing with Quilt As You Go, after we sew our seam, what I like to do is use my fingers first to finger press and really pull this seam out, because if we start right away with our iron, we tend to get little creases in here because we are sewing through the backing and batting, and we don't want little creases right in the seam. So I will fold this out and then just gently place my iron on it. And be careful not to iron too much on the batting, because that can sometimes get irritated depending on the brand you have. But you only want to just kind of go straight onto your seam after you've folded it out, and that should be absolutely sufficient to keep everything in place and everything good. So if you have any issues, like I said, I talked about the stitch length of moving through. If you still feel like your top fabric is pushing and your walking foot is not really taking care of that, sometimes you can release the pressure of the pressure foot on your machine. So maybe lift it up a little bit to help move everything through. Now that is kind of the key things. I did talk a little bit in the beginning about fusible web. We will be using some fusible web in the Fast and Furious Club program. So this is my favorite brand, the Heat and Bond Light, which does require some top stitching on top of it, but that's kind of necessary and actually adds a great feature, because we will always be quilting around those pieces because we're going through the backing and batting, so it creates an extra dimension. On top of that, we will also, of course, be using the Stripology rulers. So if you have those, that'll be great. I will still give you instructions to use regular rulers, but if you have them and the ruler stickers, they are going to be very, very helpful. And then one more thing I wanted to mention, since we're talking about fusible web and applique, I love my scissors by Karen K. Buckley. These are my two favorite sizes, so for cutting out applique pieces, and if you have really tiny ones, the little green ones work really, really well. They have a really sharp point if you have to punch through something. And I wanted to show you a third kind of scissors. So these little red ones have a curved tip. So I don't know if you can see this, but it curves around a little bit. And what this does, it's really helpful when you are trimming your stitches. No, I pinned this together, but I wanted to show you. So when you are trimming your threads from the back, when you're doing Quilt As You Go, because of the curve of this, you can go all the way up to the fabric and be sure that it's not going to harm the fabric. So I love using these little curved ones to snip my threads at the end of a project. So that is it for my tips and tricks and tools for our Quilt As You Go method. I hope you're going to join us for the Fast and Furious Club, and have lots of fun making some of these projects. Well, I loved seeing all your questions and comments while playing the video. A lot of you hadn't seen these tips, so that's really good. I will be talking about all the little tools and mentioning them next week, but you can find all of them on the website. Specifically, a lot of you were asking about the non-stick needles. Yes, we have non-stick needles in stock, and I really just carry. The notions we carry are really just notions that I use myself. So they're in there. It's funny, I thought it was, can you get prior season patterns from Fast and Furious? Yes, you can. So they are all on the website. If you go to the shop, there's a Fast and Furious season 1 and there's a Fast and Furious season 2. So you can purchase them individually. You can still purchase the trimesters. They are, of course, a little bit different price than when we launched the club. So they're always a little bit of a promo, but you can still get those. Will they still release every month on the 20th? Yes. So we're sticking with the 20th. So 20th of each month is the day that the pattern goes live in your account. So you just purchase the program. If you purchased either the trimester or the full 9 months, automatically in your account on gequiltdesigns.com, you will all of a sudden have a new pattern and a new video to watch. And you will have the videos to stream as many times as you want forever. What do you think of the Fusible powder instead of spray? I've never tried it. I saw all your comments and that reminded me I need to try it. I just rarely use it because I always use the Fusible batting. And so, but it's great if you have batting scraps that are not fusible, probably great to use those, especially for those smaller projects. What brand is the iron? I use the Velocity iron by Reliable. That one in the video was the previous model because it's a 2-year video. So I also noticed the walking foot I saw is quite different from the walking foot that I have now. Just because I have a brand new machine, and this one is phenomenal that comes with the baby lock. Do you ever use pre-filled bobbins? I don't, because I like to match my bobbin color to, when I'm doing Quilt As You Go, to the backing fabric. So I want it to blend in nicely. I typically stick to like 3 to 5 different neutrals that will blend in nicely with prints. So I don't use pre-filled bobbins, no. 50 weight thread. Yeah, I use 50 weight thread for both piecing, and of course this is perfect. Even though we're doing some top stitching, I think the 50 weight is a perfect thread weight for both. So I use that primarily for everything I do, pretty much. All right, more questions? What was the recommended stitch length? So you just want to go up a little bit, maybe from what you normally use. So I go up to 3, almost to 3, or I did that with my previous machine. With this new one and this really awesome walking foot, I really don't have to. You can just kind of gauge it. If your stitches are, you feeling like they're really tight, just go up a little bit. It would just help move everything through the machine. Few other tools. I mentioned, somebody asked, that we actually introduced last season, so season 2, because this video was done before season 1. One of them is the jumbo clips, the jumbo wonder clips, because they're really great when you roll up your batting to kind of keep it intact, rolled up and tight. So I have those if we want to go to the overhead. We have those here. They come in a bag like this. I always use these that were introduced last year too. These are Silicone Thimbles, heat thimbles, so they keep your fingers from burning when you're using the steam and you're doing little sashings and bindings and things. I always have a chalk pen too. I love these roller ones with a wheel. We have those in the store in, like, when you can't use, like I have a white and I have a pink when I can't use my blue water erase. I love these. And then a tool that I use all the time and that you can just get at wherever you get your school supplies. It's all in, I'm sure in all stores right now. Washable school glue, non-toxic. We'll use that quite a bit, or I do. Fusible is in stock, and we have lots coming already, lots on the way. So we will have plenty of the batting. But like I said, we're going to talk a lot more about this next week. I wanted to mention that next week's Tipsy Tuesday is going to be early. Next week's Tipsy Tuesday is going to be at 3 p.m., not 7 p.m., 3 p.m. Yes, somebody's got a gig. So we thought it would be better to go early instead of switching up the dates. So it's easy to remember. 3 p.m. is the same time as Happy Friday. 3 p.m. Okay, everybody? Next Tuesday will be 3 p.m. We'll send you lots of reminders. We'll put it in the newsletters. We'll put it on the crew. 3 p.m. next Tuesday. Mark your calendar. It's going to switch times.
What do you use the glue for?
The school glue. We use it for... I use it for lots of different things, placing, sashings, and things like that. It's really great to place things if, instead of using pins, because it washes away easily. It's not toxic, and you can kind of heat set it so it stays in place while you stitch things down. You'll see. You'll see. Yes, we do ship the 24 by 36 mat. We have special boxes made, so we do ship them all over. Yes. All right. Any more questions? Like I said, I'll go over all these tools next week. We will have plenty in stock. So, and talk about specifically what is helpful for the first 3 projects, things like that. So I hope you're excited to join us for another fun year of Fast and Furious Club. These are such fun projects. They go fast. They're perfect to do in between your other big quilts because it's kind of an instant gratification. You get one done and it's completely done. Love it. All right, we are going to move on to show you some of the fabrics we got. I have 3 new bundles that I want to show you and a little bit of winter holiday. Winter is coming. This one is called Welcome Winter, and another snowman one. This is not flannel. This is just regular cotton. Welcome Winter. It's a Henry Glass line. I just love the artwork. It is Barb Tortillat. That is the designer. But the colorway is so pretty. Just really nice soft grays and whites and that beautifully rich red. Great gray snowflake print. I love this hat print on the gray background and the red polka dot and striped cuff. There's a little typography print here. Ice skates. It says cinnamon. Warm, cozy, icy, sledding, snowflakes, and then the little hot cocoa mugs. Gotta love it. And then this print is one of my favorite. It's like a knitted polka dot. So it's like a knitted texture and then a polka dot. So cute. We have a red swirl with a little bit of snowflakes in it. We have that same knitted print in the red and an amazing diagonal peppermint candy stripe. It's perfect. And then we have the blues. So really nice, soft, light blues. We have the cocoa mugs with a striped straw, or maybe that's a cinnamon candy cane in there. Maybe, I don't know. And then we have the blue snowflake. And we have the swirl. And last but not least, that polka dot in the blue. Really cute. So if this was not enough, we do have a panel that's not in the bundle, but it's sold separately. Beautiful 6-piece panel with the snowman and some fox and deer and bunnies. I love this. So pretty. And the blocks, you can cut them anywhere between 11 and then if you go inside to probably about an 8.5-inch finish, 9-inch finish. So it gives you a lot of variety to play with the panel. Be really cute pillows or just a quilt for winter. Of course, the winter ones can kind of hang on and stay a little bit longer than just through the holidays. So there are, we have more of the diagonal candy cane stripe in 1 yard. So this is a classic. I feel like I always look for things like this when making holiday stuff. So we have that in 1 yards. And of course I did a fabric pull. So started with the blues. I wanted to start with the darkest. With a Grunge Grotto is my darkest blue, and then medium I did the Jot Dot in the light blue, and then one of our new ones, the Seeds in the Sky, is a perfect fit in there as well with my blues. For the reds, I did from the, this is a little bit darker hue of red, so I did the Floral Elements in the Scarlet. And then I love this with it, the Chameleon in the red. This was in our first color club. I love the shades of dark and light in here, and then the Seeds in the Watermelon. I love that it has a little bit of white because it kind of ties in with everything else. The grays, I took 2 grays. I did a little bit darker, Dimples in the Cool Gray, going kind of with the darker hues of gray, and then a light one, the Circle Burst in the light gray. Same hue as the rest of the grays. So then if you wanted to do a background, I would recommend just a white background. So I would totally just go with a white on white, Century White, or the, I just picked 2. We have a few different prints in this, but that is really the perfect white because it goes pretty bright white with all the whites in here. So I wouldn't go creamy at all. It's also supposed to be snow, really winter fresh. Welcome winter. Love, love, love this. All right. What do you think? Some people collect snowmen. I've gotten so many, last year I got so many questions about if I had any snowman fabric. So I made sure to have a few lines with snowmen on it. And those that don't maybe celebrate Christmas but want to make winter quilts, that's perfect. Perfect solution. All right, our next one is also a holiday line. Well, winter. It's called Yuletide, and it's a really unique, fun line because I feel like it's kind of Scandinavian, but the colorway is unique. And I love that. Very Scandinavian because they're not really Santas. They're like more like little elves. So like Julenissa or Tantes or something. So, and they got the goat, Christmas goat, and of course we have kind of the more European looking prints like the windmills and things. So love this, and I think this colorway with these beautiful greens is so fresh and cool. So then there's this little bit of lighter green. So there's different hues of green, really dark forest green, medium green, and then we go into almost the mint green, and it's just a beautiful combination with a little bit of those really greenish blues in here. So I wouldn't say this one is kind of borderline Christmas, but I love it. I love it. You could really extend this into winter. A great plaid in the greens. And we have one more dark green print, tone on tone. And then we come into like that almost a mint green and the pop of red. So we have the flowers and the pop of red, and then the really deep burgundy hat for the Santa or the elves or whatever you want to call them. And then we have the floral in the light green and the same houses with a light green background. And then we have going into the blues, so it's from this deeper navy with these greens in it, so a lot of green in these blues as well. So I just love how unique that is. Same print, and we have the branches, and finishing off with another colorway of the plaid with a little bit of blue in there. So blue and green coming together here. Isn't this cool and pretty? I really love how this one looks. It will give you a really unique quilt holiday. Very masculine, I think, especially the colorway. Very warm. So as far as colors, I pulled in some more of the light green here with a canvas minty, and then I felt like going more into this kind of greenish blue. So this Dash Flow Bayou is a great kind of in between. Some more of the darker navies. I went with the Dash Flow Blueprint, and then the Grunge Picnic is the perfect tone that ties them all together. So not too dark, not too light. Love the Grunge Picnic. So as far as the darker greens, I felt we were good on balance in that. I felt like we needed to a little bit more of the lighter greens and the blues to balance it out. And then if you wanted to pop it with a little bit of red, the perfect reds, in my opinion, is the Canvas Merlot for a little bit deeper but warm, or the Bumbleberries and the Postbox Red, a little bit brighter red that goes with some of the brighter hues of red in here. If you wanted to pop it with red. And then a background to kind of go with the light colors in here, I would go with the Grunge and the Snow White because it has that mint green in there. So it's perfect. It really blends nicely. You could even add it in here as one of the lights. It's not too light. It won't scream at you. Or if you wanted a little more contrast, I would go with the Spectrostatic Dust because it's not fully bright white, has little specks, and would be a beautiful background to use with this one.
Why is Santa riding a goat?
Oh, that is the Christmas goat is a Scandinavian thing. It's primarily a Swedish thing, if you haven't heard about the Christmas goat. Okay. All of you Swedes out there, I'm sure you've heard about the Christmas goat. If you've been to IKEA, there's usually a goat decorated for Christmas, standing outside IKEAs all over the world.
A real one? Really?
No, not real. No. But the stories, they date back to where the Santa Claus or the Julenissetomten or whatever. They're called different things in the different Scandinavian countries. So he rode a goat, I think. So that's how. But the stories are a little bit different in Sweden, and then they're different in Denmark and different in Norway, and then we took a whole other spin in Iceland.
There's 12 or 15.
There's 13 Santas in Iceland. Yes. 13.
Cool.
All right. We have one more new bundle. This one is not holiday. It's very cool and fun. Totally real creatures. Unicorns. Yes, unicorns. All right. So this one is called A Little Bit of Magic.
Hey, Santa's on there.
A little bit of magic. So we have unicorns and beautiful lavenders, blues. So I don't know who doesn't know a little girl that loves unicorns. I know one of my nieces is obsessed with My Little Pony and unicorns. So we have this print, and then there's a green that ties kind of all the greens together. And beautiful florals with the pinks and the lavender. We have still that navy background with itty bitty butterflies in that lavender, purple, and light blue. Then we have, it's almost like tulips, kind of like a spray of flowers. And then going kind of morphing into this lavender color. Love this print. And you know, it's rare to find this lavender color in fabrics. So I love finding something unique. And this is a smaller bundle. It's only 8-piece bundle. So I tied it with just the colors. So then you can kind of mix in more if need be. I pulled another green if you wanted to add more green. I think also you could pull this one out and use it as an accent easily. It would be great as an accent, like if you were doing Amelie or Clarissa or anything like that. You needed a focus fabric. But if you wanted more, Deco Stitch Morning Moss is a great kind of same hue, just a tad bit darker. As far as the navies and blues, my best fits were the Bumbleberries and the Indigo because of the different hues and the muted tone, and then the Jack's Sapphire. So a little bit bluer, but and darker. Then we did some lavenders. We have some beautiful lavenders in the store, the Dash Flow and the Pansy. And then the Floral Elements Lavender Haze, which is a newer color in our Floral Elements. I really love this because it has the lights and the darks. Beautiful, beautiful. I did add a couple of pinks. Another option for an accent is, of course, pulling out the pinks. There's not a pink print in here, so I pulled two that would work great, the Floral Elements and the Bubblegum. And then the Seeds and the Cotton Candy, because it has a lot of that white in there, just like these prints do. And then if you wanted to do a background for this, something that everything stands out from, I would recommend something really sweet like this one, the Country Confetti White Cupcake. It has little lavender and pink and navy pin dots, but they're irregular, so I love it. And then if you wanted something more fun, more colors, the Beguiled Splatter in the white has just these splatters of colors. So it has more colors than are in here, but it would really make a fun quilt, especially for little kids. So this is a little bit of magic. Love this. Love it, love it, love it. Something unique. And we do have, just so you know, we do have more of the unicorns in 1 yard. So I just forgot to bring it. So we have the unicorns in 1 yard. So if you wanted something for a bigger border or something like that, or pillowcases or anything, we have that in 1 yard. So perfect. All right.
What you got behind you?
Oh, behind me, we have on the wall, we have the Teen Spirit in the flannel in Snow Place Like Home. I talked about that last Friday. We talked about flannel, or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. We talked about flannel, and we have the adjustments on the website under bonus charts and templates. I made a little sheet to adjust this panel for the Teen Spirit quilt. So the panel, you just add a border to it. Just used the plaid from the bundle to do that, and it's so cute. It's not quilted yet. I gotta put together the backing, and then we can get it on the machine, but it is so cute. And then in the middle we have Ava, and she hasn't been around for a while, and I found her, like, you know what, let's pop her up.
What fabric is it?
And Ava, that quilt was done 3 years ago, or 2 at least. I used now I don't remember what it was called, but it was a motor line, and I don't even remember the designer. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I tried, folks. I tried.
I apologize. It was the same designer. She's done lines that go with different parts of the country. She did the Pacific Northwest, and then she did the lakes this last time. That came out last year, that we did Lakeside something. And yeah, so it's the same designer, and I don't remember who it is, so sorry. I apologize. On the cabinet, we have the May baskets, which was season 1 Fast and Furious Club, the May project. And so just pulled that one out to just kind of show that off, because we do different techniques. That one was a lot of fusible applique, but it was kind of worth it because it's pretty stunning, I think, in my opinion. All right, so that is it for fabric and our show. Last thing, though, we have to pull a live winner. A live winner. Oh, I wanted to give you an update first. Christmas in Europe. We will still start on the September 15th. Update if you had put in your reservation for a fabric kit. We still don't have the fabric. However, there may be some things happening this week. I may be getting a shipping notification this week. Yes, we're still waiting for just 2. So just hang tight. You don't have to worry if you made your reservation, because we will email you. We will email you when it's ready to ship, which we'll probably do it a few days before we're ready to ship it. We'll email you an invoice for the difference, and then ship them out to you. So hopefully we'll get most folks their kits before the 15th. If not, you may just have to wait a few more days to start that first block. But you know what? We will try our best. Try our best. So, so if you reserved a fabric kit, you don't have to worry about it. If you already purchased the digital package, you're all good. You will just get a notification when we kick it off on the 15th. And the special pricing on the digital package is still going on until we start. So if you haven't checked onto that yet, I would check it out. All right, live winner. Who is our live winner for tonight? We have Miss Sean DeRay. You are our winner. Congratulations, $25 gift card. Thank you for watching and being with us. Now, everybody, here's your second chance to win everybody else. All you got to do is answer this last question. Here's our giveaway question. We did talk about the fair. So, my question is, have you ever entered a quilt into your local fair? Now, we didn't have fairs in Iceland, so I've never entered a quilt into a fair, let alone a competition. But I have definitely gone and looked at the quilts at the fair, and what's been fun has been catching some of my patterns being submitted there, and so I love that. So if you ever do that, make sure to post it in the crew. I love to see that. So that is all for us tonight. All you got to do is answer the question, and that will give you a chance to win a second gift card, and we will announce the winner next week, randomly pulled from all your comments or all your answers. Now, next week, again, I'm going to remind you, 3 p.m. Tuesday, September 7th. Big reveal, big Fast and Furious Club launch. So check us out. Our next Happy Friday show will be not this week because it's Labor Day. We are hitting the road, me and Svana, my daughter. I'm driving her down to Florida to school. So we will have fun. And so no regular Friday show. We may still post some videos from our journey. And so check us out on Facebook if you get a chance, or Instagram in the stories. So our next Friday show will be Friday, September 10th. September 10th. Wowza. Somebody's birthday will be almost coming up. We talked about that last week. We don't have to talk about that again.
September 1st all the way through September, at the end of September.
Oh, that's okay. All right. It's getting longer. It used to be just a week. No, I think we should always celebrate our age. Celebrate our birthdays, no matter how old we are. You never know when we're going to get it, if we're going to get another one. So,
Agreed.
So I'll celebrate you all month long. No worries.
Thank you.
Well, that is it for us tonight. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week on the 7th at 3 p.m.